Hello and welcome my fab fans to Glam's new video. I'm going to be making a necklace. It's got a red theme because this was actually a custom order request for something red with knives. So I made a few special charms. I made this one. It has like a little blade inside of it and blood. It's fake blood, but blood nonetheless, and a few sword charms that I made them pick out. So this time I'm not hiding the charms on you. But it is a red and orange theme mostly. They asked for red and black. I don't have a lot of red and black, so I chose red, black, and orange, and they accepted as that was my only options, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more 4, 10. And I'm gathering all the tiny beads. And this is for the base of the bracelet. This is not a bracelet. This is gonna be a necklace. It's been a while since I made a really long necklace. For anyone, usually it's custom bracelets rather than custom necklaces. But I also don't really like wearing bracelets, so anyone who wears like a bracelet, I get why you do. Don't get me wrong. They're beautiful. But they make me so incredibly uncomfortable that I don't understand the vibe. Anyway, these are going to be all of the transition beads in between every single one of the gems that I also let them pick from. And they liked all of the options I gave them, and I'm like, I can't do all of them, so I'm just going to narrow it down slowly through size. They wanted the bigger ones, so that's how we ended up with these. So I chose all of the relatively bigger beads. There is not a lot of information I can really give about jewelry making, other than I just kind of do it based off of vibe. The reason I mix all of them in like a container like this is so that it's easier to put them onto this instead of just grabbing beads individually. 1, it makes it more randomized. 2, I just stab into the stack because it's a lot easier. If you just want a design that slightly goes together in a way, I need this piece. Right. I'm gonna push these up here slightly so they have a bit more room. I actually only do custom orders for people who are part of my Discord server currently. One day I hope to have a shop, like an online one for anyone to just buy from. One day, But that won't happen anytime soon because, well, as much as I'd love to, I've lost my train of thought. As much as I'd love to make an online shop, I also know that it would be very difficult to set it up because I'm a very particular person about things. And I understand that there are free sites that you can just pay someone to just make you a website, but I personally don't have the time to run a website. Do you know how difficult it is to actually run one? Mostly. I might not have to advertise if I use the right one to make a website for myself. And I might not have to do most of the basic work for it. But I'd still have to do the making of the stuff. Do you know how much stuff I'd have to make if I were to make a website? I know it would sell out very quickly. I'd probably have to be constantly busy. It would allow me to, quit most of my job. I'd probably still go to work as I like my job, but I definitely would be able to sell enough to quit the job that I'm working at. I know my jewelry's good. I know it looks nice. And I'm very confident about it, because I know my skill level. I'm aware what I'm capable of. You should be aware and confident about your stuff, too. I know my materials aren't the most expensive materials in the world. Yes. Highly aware. But I also know that most people don't have the time, effort, and want to learn a skill like this. which is why they watch other people do it instead of doing it themselves. Some people are willing to learn the skill and buying all the materials and making themselves everything. The reason I know how to make jewelry is because I wanted to learn the skill. I learned it for fun. That's how I learned the skill. I watched a video and just grabbed things and made things from a photo. I didn't even watch videos. I technically just made things from photos most of the time. This specific beading style that I am doing right now, I did watch a video for it because I wanted to figure out where the wire was supposed to go in the first place. There's a few different ways to add the wire or string or whatever material you're using to bead things together. I personally like using floral wire for mine, and it's just because floral wire just happens to be a convenient material to buy. It's cheap, you can get a bunch of it for less than jewelry wire, and it's the same strength, and it comes in multiple colors. So there's no reason to get regular jewelry wire when you can just get floral wire that's the same strength and or thickness for cheaper. I'll state the main reason I stopped using regular jewelry wire and only use floral wire for this type of bracelet is because it's easier to bend. It's more flexible. And because it's more flexible, it's less likely to snap at joint, which means I can bend it like string and it still not break on me, which is what I was looking for. It's old. It like tied itself in a knot somehow. So I was reading this story, and one part I don't understand is if the character got raped, why was she hanging out with her rapist like they were best friends? Is that a thing that happens? Do some people forgive the rapists? And if so, why? Because that's unforgivable. Like, that part of the story is still just confusing me. Like, she's yelling at him for not being there to protect her, but like, our character didn't know she got raped and just saw her hanging out with the guy she slept with. So I don't understand that part of the story. Why would she just chill with hanging out with the person who's like raped her? If she's accusing him of, and nobody of believing her for being raped. Why was she just chilling with him? Because, like, at the beginning of when she was first introduced, she was just hanging out with him. No problem. Drinking alcohol around him and threatening to break up with the main character because he's not showing her enough attention. So I don't understand what's happening in the story now. And then she was like, well, yeah, but you better not let him near the other one because he's definitely going to do something to him next to get back at you for existing. And I'm like, what? Do not touch our main character. They're a sweetheart. And they're just realizing now that they're in love with the other guy. So I'm not understanding the story. And I'm very scared for my other main character that I love. Because they're so sweet and innocent and pure. So I'm very worried about that character because beginning of the story, this character was assaulted. So there's just a lot of assault happening in this story from the get-go. Like, the main character that we start with can't even leave his own, like, house alone because of what happened, and is afraid of even letting mail get delivered directly to the house because of it. I'm very worried about what's happening in the story, basically. It is making me uncomfortable to even read the story. And there are a lot of warnings, but it is a very good story. with very strong, it's got a very like powerful storyline, and it's very emotional, where people are just finding out who they are, and the main character is finally learning to trust again. And well, I'm very worried for them now. She's like, you better protect my cousin so that this doesn't happen to them either. I was originally not worried for the character, and I was like, oh, there's just gonna be like a happiness, but like he still has to like tell his ex why they broke up. No, it's gonna get hot over the next few days. That's gonna suck. Just plug in my phone in real quick. I hope that I can finish this before the end of the video. So, like I said, every single time I add a bead, the quicker it gets for me to add more. So the closer I get to the end, the faster this will get. And it's mainly because the less wire I have to pull through. I mean, the color scheme is looking great. The blue is like a little out of place, but it also means that the green is a slightly out of place on this bead and on this bead, but they kind of fit the color scheme in a way, whereas they've all got red in them, which is what really tunes them all together. They're all slightly reddish, like this red sandstone. In the light it looks more orange and brown to me, but it is technically red, if only via by the name. It is coming along really nicely. There was originally another bead. It was sunstone, but I removed it because it looked really pink amongst the oranges and the reds, even though it was quite orange separately. But with these colors, apparently it comes out, I don't know. It bothered me. I removed it. There is no sunstone in this design anymore. It just didn't fit. I think this bead also made it look more pink. Every single time I hear about an abusive relationship, though, my blood boils. Abusers, I don't really sympathize with. I can't physically sympathize with any. Because I just don't think I don't think there's an excuse for it. Even if you, like, rehabilitate or anything, there was no excuse for your behavior. And whoever you abuse they don't have to forgive you, and they shouldn't. You don't deserve it. If you've ever abused someone, you don't deserve their forgiveness. I believe forgiveness is a form of manipulation. If someone forgives me, I still don't feel like I deserve it if I've wronged them. And I'd rather them be angry at me. I think the only person who really should forgive a person is like themselves. I did everything to repent for my sins my entire life. I don't deserve their forgiveness directly, but I am better now, type thing. The person you've wronged, if they forgive you, they forgive you. Oh well. But I know that forgiveness can be a form of manipulation that abusers use to get people to fall under their control again. Being too forgiving is not a good thing. Like, I forgive my grandmother for her bad behavior, but I still don't talk to her. Because as much as I can forgive a person for being a racist and a homophobe and a transphobe, because, well, I'll just push aside my feelings and be like, well, I love you because you're my family, but that's about it. But I'm not going to be around you because of these issues that you have and that you're not willing to change. And that's perfectly fine. My forgiveness is in essence of, I will allow you to talk to me, but I won't force myself to be around you if I'm uncomfortable. Because as much as I care about you, do you deserve my forgiveness? No. You never even shown that you wanted to be better. Even if it was for a minute. What if you relapse? What if it's just you going senile and remembering that you actually were an abused gay? But in essence, I know there are people still hurting from her because of her problems. And I don't think I can fully forgive her for being such a bad person. until my mom forgives her fully. Basically, a forgiveness that is earned rather than just given blatantly. If they don't prove that they deserve your forgiveness, then why should you even bother feeling any form of it for them? I love my grandmother. I wish she would pass in her sleep so that she does not have to suffer anymore within her own mind. Because anyone who holds hate in their heart is a person that probably is suffering inside and physically, because honestly, she's going through it when it comes to physical issues. But that's what I call karma for being a bitch. According to my mother, my grandmother used to beat her physically with belts while treating my uncle as an innocent being who's done no wrong. Now, I don't believe it fully, not because I don't trust my mother's judgment, but because I was not there, so I don't get to say on it. Like how when my brother said something messed up about my cousin, like, your mother let your father rape you. That was something he shouldn't have said. We weren't there. And it's none of our business. But Anne should have also not said shit to my brother, like, I'll get both you and your sister raped. That is something she actually said, by the way. It was on recording and everything. And I only yelled at her for what she said to my brother. Did not care to state anything about what my brother said, because it was none of my business. But what she said did piss me off. And I was like, no, I'm mad at Eric too for saying that about you. It has nothing to do with this. Because I was angry at my brother for saying that. He shouldn't have brought it up. It was none of his business. And Anne was assuming that it was something that I was defending. No, I was not. Because it did not matter to me what Eric said. Because what he said was equally as fucked up. I was mad at Anne for what she said. And I was like, yes, you can defend your daughter, but you also cannot attack other people, and that is not okay. And I was angry at her for what she said. There was actually a point in time where she realized where I keep my like toys and tried to show them to guests in the house. And I said, do not open that drawer. Not in front of people. And she proceeded to try to open it 3 times. And I said, do not open that drawer. She even made her guests uncomfortable, blatantly ignoring the asked for privacy multiple times. Just because you are a slut, don't pull me into it. I was mad at both Anne and my brother that day. And me and my cousin agreed that both of them are assholes and awful people. I love my brother. And I don't hate my aunt. But I did hate what she said, and she does not deserve the forgiveness for that. Because, well, she hasn't earned it. Does nothing to earn it. If a person asks for forgiveness because they haven't said anything fucked up yet, but haven't shown that they've been a better person, or that they shouldn't have said it, or not apologize, that's manipulative. I'm still mad at her for it, and she's never apologized for it. So I'm still angry at her for it, but in a way of, I don't really care. But you also will never get forgiveness for that, and I won't let you go easily on anything like that. Because don't attack people. It's not okay. I can both love and hate my family for different things, and I will keep in contact with them because they are family. But I won't necessarily respond with much more, and I won't hang out with, because that is my form of I don't forgive you, is I won't hang out with them on purpose. And I bet they enjoy it, because guess what? I'm not a good person either. But I will uphold my moral values of I won't forgive people unless they prove that they deserve it. And, well, none of them proved it, so there's actually this one guy who kept asking people that I've dated for my nudes and was like, I would have felt, and then tried to make it seem like he wasn't a bad person for asking in the first place. The only person you should ask in general for their nudes is the person you're dating. And if you are not dating them, do not ask for things like that because it's none of your business. I was in a throuple at one point, but I stopped doing that because I found a pretty girl that I wanted to be with. And I don't really want to be in a throuple because I'd rather be in my own relationship from other two people. It's not a bad thing to be in a throuple. It's just personal preference. It's looking nice. My foot is completely numb. Ugh, yeah. Gonna have to end this video. Okay, well, I'm gonna end it here at the halfway point. Peace, love, have a good day, my fab fams, and I'll see you in part 2. Goodbye!